People ask me all the time, what is a Chapter 13 bankruptcy? I'm going to try to explain it in about 2 minutes. In a nutshell, a Chapter 13 is a repayment plan. So what does that repayment plan look like? Well, the way I describe it to my clients is this. It's really, think of a bucket. So in that bucket, we're going to put some money. And let's say we do that once a month. We're going to put money into our bucket. But it's not our bucket, and it's not the client's bucket. It's the Chapter 13 trustee's bucket. So he's going to collect that money in the bucket over time. Yeah, maybe 3, 4, 5 years. We don't know right now, but for purposes of this, let's say it's a 5-year plan. So payments are going to go in that bucket for 5 years. And from that bucket, the trustee is going to make some payments out or some distributions. The trustee is going to end up paying himself or herself some sort of fee or commission. And that's usually based on a percentage of what is flowing through this repayment plan. Maybe that trustee will be paying some car payments, or maybe will pay off a car completely so that the client doesn't have to pay for the car directly anymore. It'll all be included in this repayment plan. Maybe there'll be some taxes that will be paid by the trustee. So the trustee would be paying out for the taxes. Or a very classic one are mortgage arrearages. So the missed payments on someone's home, maybe those will be included in the repayment plan. And of course, important to the attorney and the client are the attorney fees. So some attorneys put all their fees in the plan. Some attorneys put some of their fees in the plan. Some attorneys put none. But let's say in this case we're putting some attorney's fees in the plan. So these distributions will be made by the trustee from the payment, whatever that payment might be, paid to the trustee over this 5-year period. But there'll be money left after these distributions are made, and that money gets spread out to everybody else. Well, who would that be? Those would be the medical bills, credit cards, maybe a payday loan, something like that. The general unsecured creditors. These are the lowest priority debts that exist in bankruptcy, so they get, as you might imagine, the least amount of money, or they usually get it latest in order. There can be some cases where they're paid in full, but typically they're just going to be paid some percentage of what they're due. They get what they get, and then they go to zero. So when the client is done, at the end of the case, the client has no more debt, is debt-free. Now, they may have some ongoing things, and those might be payments, we call those outside of the plan, or for our purposes, outside of the bucket, and that might be the ongoing mortgage payments. So the client still would have those ongoing mortgage payments when the case is over, and there might be some things that survive the bankruptcy. There could be certain types of taxes that aren't taken care of by the trustee that survive, or there might be student loans, for example, that survive. So the client might have some debt at the end of it, but the whole idea is that this process, this plan, is used to reorganize the debtor, give them one payment to make to the trustee, and let the trustee then handle all those creditors that have been knocking at the door and ringing on the telephone for the client and sending in bills. They all get managed through one repayment plan that hopefully is something that the client can afford. And that's essentially how a Chapter 13 works. Again, at the end of the case, the discharge is issued, case is over, and the client has been rehabilitated and gets to start over.